This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Police investigating another murder. A man shot dead off Farrington Road last night. The labor minister firing back at union leaders' claims, says Pia Glover Roll, we are honoring that MOU with unions. Meanwhile, the F&M says the PLP duped workers with that MOU. And in our interview, we are talking to the head of the Electrical Workers Union, Kyle Wilson, the latest on what's happening at BPL. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way? Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, July 26th, 2024. Welcome to Morning Blend on this Guardian Radio 96.9 Friday. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Also this morning, we will be talking more about that MOU with Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, President Belinda Wilson. She's been critical of this from the beginning. We'll talk with her in our business hour. Before that, though, in observance of World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, which is July 30th, we'll be talking with the Trafficking in Persons Secretariat and the Ministry of National Security about some events they have planned. A lot to get to on this busy Friday morning, but first it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping at the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, two brothers traveling in a car on Flamingo Avenue off Farrington Road suddenly came to a stop after a blue car blocked their path. Police Chief Superintendent Ezra Maycock says that's when two gunmen got out of the blue car and began shooting at them. One of the brothers fell to the ground and was shot and killed. Police say the other brother received minor injuries and is assisting police with the investigation. Police have arrested a man on Fowler Street. Maycock says that man is assisting them with this investigation. This is the 72nd murder for the year for the Bahamas. Minister of Labor and the Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll, insisting that the Davis administration is living up to the terms of a memorandum of understanding it signed with union leaders back in 2021. Glover-Roll firing back at the Trade Union Congress President Ferguson's claim that the government is failing to adhere to the MOU. Glover-Roll says that apart from a few items in the memorandum of understanding that may still be outstanding, quote, I think we've done an excellent job of living up to our part, living up to our end of the bargain regarding the memorandum of understanding, considering that we still have time left during our administration's term, and the fact that some items were possibly low-hanging fruit that could have been handled or ameliorated quickly. Other matters are work in progress. Well, the PLP signed that MOU with the TUC and the National Trade Union of National Congress of Trade Unions, NCTUB, on August 25th, 2021, less than a month before the party was voted into office, as he voiced concerns over what he said is the government's, quote, secret BPL deal. President of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, Kyle Wilson, said Wednesday the government is failing to live up to the MOU. Meanwhile, FNM Chairman Dr. Dwight Sands claiming that the PLP duped workers when it signed that MOU with some of the union leaders. Sands says many people thought the MOU signing was nothing but a public relations stunt designed to win an election and take advantage of workers. And, quote, 3 years later, we can confirm that the Davis administration and the PLP have demonstrated nothing but utter disrespect and contempt for. A Supreme Court jury unanimously acquitting Wood Carl Pasteur of murder. Prosecutors allege that Pasteur fatally shot Keithon Johnson at his Peter Street home on July 22, 2022. Johnson, who was on bail for armed robbery, was shot in the head, torso, and thigh. Pasteur, who was represented by Miranda Adderley, exercised his constitutional right to remain silent, and he didn't call any witnesses in his defense at his trial before Justice Gregory Hilton. The prosecution's primary witness was Johnson's 17-year-old sister. Then 15, she testified that she was sitting in a white Honda Accord with her boyfriend when an unknown man wearing a hoodie opened the car door, engaging the inside lights. The stranger asked if they lived there, and the teenager questioned who the person was. The man didn't reply, and he closed the door. The sister says she saw when the man went to their house and peered through the window. A short time later, she said she heard gunshots and saw the same man running away. Johnson's sister later picked out Pasteur from a 12-man photo lineup. According to the defense, Pasteur was a victim of mistaken identity, though. Both the sister and police investigators agreed that the area was poorly lit. He was on remand pending his trial. Though Minister of Education Gladys Hannah Martin maintained that there is still a long way to go, she says improvements in student attendance, performance, and parental involvement have been noted over the past school year. When Hannah Martin was appointed Minister of Education in 2021, students across the country had spent more than a year in virtual classes due to the COVID pandemic. A priority in the months that followed was an effort to test students across the public system to determine learning loss, as countries across the globe raised concern over the impact of long periods without in-person lessons. Hannah Martin says that the testing provided educators and policymakers with data to make better decisions about the way forward. The education minister is also saying that students in Harbor Island, Eleuthera, and McLeanstown, Grand Bahama, will be in new buildings come September if all goes according to plan. On Harbor Island, parents, teachers, and students have complained of the conditions of the all-age school, where they say some buildings are crumbling with broken windows and non-functioning toilets. Hannah Martin says the ministry is currently awaiting advice from the Ministry of Works on whether or not the structure on the campus is condemned. She also says that she does not believe the Holmes Rock Junior High School, which was started in 2016, will be open by the start of the new school year. But she says McLeanstown Primary School, which was destroyed by Hurricane Dorian in 2019, is expected to reopen. Overseas, France's high-speed rail network hit today with widespread and, quote, criminal acts of vandalism, including arson attacks, paralyzing travel to Paris from across the rest of France and Europe only hours before the grand opening ceremony for the Olympics. French officials condemning the attacks as criminal actions, though they said there was no sign of a direct link to the Games. And prosecutors in Paris opened a national investigation, saying the crimes could carry sentences of 15 to 20 years. As Paris authorities geared up for a spectacular parade on and along the Seine River, 3 fires were reported near the tracks on the high-speed lines of the Atlantique. The north and east rails, according to, that causing disruptions that affected hundreds of thousands of travelers. Among them were 2 German athletes in show jumping who were on a train to Paris to take part in the opening ceremony but had to turn back to Belgium because of the closures and that they will now miss the ceremony. French Prime Minister Gabriel Attal writing on social media that France's intelligence services have been mobilized to find the perpetrators. And Venezuela's government and opposition closing the official presidential campaign season with demonstrations that drew thousands of people to the streets of the capital. The events 3 days before the highly anticipated election on Sunday encapsulated the massive disparities between the top contenders, including their resources. President Nicolas Maduro, who's seeking a 3rd term, appeared before supporters on a massive stage set up on one of the city's main roads and rallied attendees with musical intermissions and dances throughout his speech. He told the crowd, part of it transported to Caracas on state-owned buses, that his opponents are promoters of violence and described himself as a man of peace. Meanwhile, former diplomat Edmundo González Urrutia, who is representing the Unitary Platform Coalition, and opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, gathered far fewer supporters. González and Machado moved through the city standing atop a platform affixed to a truck until they reached a middle-class district of the capital. Lack of funding and government repression against Machado and any service provider who may volunteer or enter a contract with the campaign has affected their ability to set up proper stages, including Thursday, where their sound system was not powerful enough to allow all supporters to listen. And Ismael El Mayo Zambada, a longtime leader of Mexico's Sinaloa cartel, and Joaquin Guzman Lopez, a son of another infamous cartel leader, arrested by U.S. authorities in Texas. A leader of the powerful Sinaloa cartel for decades alongside Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, Zambada is one of the most notorious drug traffickers in the world and known for running the cartel's smuggling operations while keeping a lower profile. A Mexican federal official telling the Associated Press that Zambada and Guzman Lopez arrived in the United States on a private plane and turned themselves into authorities. The U.S. government had offered a reward of up to $15 million for information leading to the capture of Zambada, who eluded authorities for decades. Zambada and Guzman Lopez oversaw the trafficking of tens of thousands of pounds of drugs into the United States, along with related violence, according to the FBI director, adding that they will now face justice in the United States. In sports, today is the day, the start of the 2014 Paris Olympics, the event everyone's been waiting for. And 2 Bahamian athletes have been chosen as the flag bearers for Team Bahamas. 400-meter gold medalists at the Rio Games, Stephen Gardner and Devin Charlton, who's already represented the Bahamas in 2 Olympic Games. Team Bahamas made up of 21 athletes. Getting set for the excitement for today. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And with just 32 days remaining until the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Lima, Peru, Team Bahamas has officially named its roster from August 27th through 31st. The young athletes will compete for medals in 45 events. Get all the names in today's Guardian Sports section. And from soccer, the head of Argentina's Soccer Federation says the chaotic ending to its Olympic soccer match against Morocco Wednesday, quote, makes no sense. And coach Javier Mascherano calling the scene a scandal. The opening match of the men's soccer tournament was suspended for nearly 2 hours during added time after Morocco fans invaded the field and threw bottles in protest of a late goal by Argentina. The goal was later overturned by the video assistant referee, and Argentina lost 2-1. Paris organizers say they were trying to understand the causes and identify appropriate actions after the match. Argentina's Soccer Federation said it issued a formal protest Wednesday to world governing body FIFA and would do what is necessary to guarantee the safety of players. That's sports. And that's the overnight time for your first look at weather. In your weather, we've got a severe weather warning, a thunderstorm warning in effect for New Providence, the northern Exuma Keys, Rum Key, San Salvador, Long Island, Acklands, Crooked Island, Long Key, their keys, and their adjacent waters. This is in effect until 7:25 a.m. from 5:40 this morning. The Department of Meteorology says that their lightning detection radar and satellite imagery depicts clusters of showers and thunderstorms slowly moving northwest towards and across these areas. And these showers and thunderstorms are associated with surface troughing along with a mid to upper level disturbance. Some of the showers will be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times, causing gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, hail, and possible waterspout or tornado activity. Localized flooding is also possible during this time. Again, the thunderstorm warning in effect for New Providence, the northern Exuma Keys, Rum Key, San Salvador, Long Island, Acklands, Crooked Island, Long Key, and their keys and adjacent waters until 7:25 this morning. We'll update you if that will be extended. So, as you heard, we've got a lot going on. We've got the Bermuda High continuing to extend, ridging across the Bahamas while generating moderately fresh winds and an mid to upper level trough, along with a surface trough supporting shower and thunderstorm activity over parts of the country today through tonight. We've got another heat advisory in effect for the Bahamas, and UV indices expected to be in the moderate range. Everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and wear loose-fitting clothing and limit outdoor activities. Boaters should be alert for possible waterspout activity, and beachgoers should be alert for the risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines. For today, your forecast for the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny and hot with isolated showers and a few isolated thunderstorms, possibly through tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas and reduced visibility in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times, seas 2 to 4 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas today, partly cloudy, hot, and a bit breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms through tonight. Expect gusty winds, higher seas, and reduced visibility in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times across the central islands. East to southeast at 15 knots with occasional gusts in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the central islands, but 3 to 5 feet, and slightly higher in gusts across the southeastern islands. Temperature-wise, we are off to a warm start right now in Nassau. It is about 82 degrees. Thunder in some parts of the island of New Providence. 79 in Freeport. Temperatures today expected to get up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But the heat index will make you feel like it's 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your outlook for the weekend and a look at the tropics coming up in our next weather check in our next hour. You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Attention Bahamas. Embark on an inspiring voyage with 2 new books by Hubert Ingram, Our Remarkable 3-Time PM. Learn of his exceptional leadership in steering the nation through local and international storms. These books are a treasure for all Bahamians. Are you into history or seeking inspiration? Then this is a must-read. Available at Doongalik, Logos, the National Art Gallery, and Chapter 1. Get your copies today. Be inspired by a legacy of wisdom and vision.
The Guardian Media Group has your ticket to Paris.
On your marks, get set, go!
Join the Guardian Media Group, Star 106 Hits, Guardian Radio 96.9, and Hot 91 FM. And follow Team Bahamas from paradise to Paris. Live comprehensive updates on Team Bahamas every day during the 2024 Summer Olympics. We are your ticket to Paris. Nassau Guardian Sports Editor Sheldon Longley will be trackside, bringing you closest to our athletes in their quest for gold. From paradise to Paris. The 2024 Summer Olympics live updates brought to you by gold sponsors, the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, Jimmy Wines and Spirits, distributors of refreshing Sands beer, silver sponsor Executive Motors, and the bronze sponsors Hertz Rent-A-Car, Nagico Insurance, Bay Street Garage, Nassau Motors, your Chevy and Honda dealers, and New Life Natural. Let the games begin.
That was a fantastic last leg by Ramon Miller of the Bahamas.
When you think of automobile replacement parts, superior lubricants, and accessories and chemicals of all kinds, still think Bay Street Garage Limited. For almost a century, we've been synonymous with wholesale and retail sales, free delivery to the boats for our Family Island customers, and for alternator and starter repair. Bay Street Garage Limited, BSG. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays.
It's a Scotia Plan Loan Summer. With Scotiabank, you can chase your summer vacation, swing into your home renovation, and slide on back to school with ease. Apply for your Scotia Plan loan and benefit from competitive rates, flexible loan terms, and no payments for up to 2 months. Tick off your to-do list this summer and apply for a Scotia Plan loan today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Float Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. 422-GR96 on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Got a lot to get to on this Friday morning. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking with BWU President Kyle Wilson. He says BPL workers are still in the dark about what's going on with the power company. And then later, we're going to be talking about trafficking in persons as World Day Against Trafficking in Persons approaches. And then later in business, more labor matters. We're going to be talking with Belinda Wilson about that MOU. The government says they are honoring the MOU, but many others are saying, was it worth it? So that's all ahead on this Friday. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, another murder. Just overnight, two brothers traveling in a car on Flamingo Avenue off Farrington Road last night suddenly came to a stop after a blue car blocked their path, according to police. Chief Superintendent Ezra Maycock says that's when two gunmen got out of the blue car and began shooting at the brothers. One of the brothers fell to the ground and was shot and killed. The other brother was able to escape, receiving minor injuries. Police say they've arrested a man on Fowler Street who's assisting them with their investigation. This is the 72nd murder for the year. That's the story in the Nassau Guardian. There's just a few more details in the Tribune today. A young man was killed on Flamingo Avenue yesterday. They've got a different number for the murders, but we know it's a lot, and we're in the 70s. Chief Superintendent Ezra Maycock, the officer in charge of the Southern Police Station, says police have a man in custody who they believe has information that could assist with the investigation into the killing. Police say sometime around 6:55 p.m., police received information from ShotSpotter, technology of gunshots on Flamingo Avenue. They later found a man lying on his back with multiple gunshot injuries. The deceased was traveling east along Flamingo Avenue with his brother when they were blocked by a blue vehicle at the Eden Street Junction. Two men armed with firearms discharged their weapons at the men. The victim sustained multiple gunshot injuries. He was shot on the ground, but his brother was able to escape with a bullet injury to his hand. The brother was treated for his injuries and is assisting the police with their investigation. Now, Assistant Commissioner of Police Chaswell Hanna says they've got officers from all areas on the streets now, and this operation will be going straight into the end of the year. He says, quote, under the command of the Assistant Commissioner and Commissioner for that area, we're going to be on the streets at certain times where the crime trends are indicating we need to be on the streets. ACP Hanna says his operation began at the beginning of the year, but the police force, quote, built it out stronger to strengthen those operations. If you're measuring it by the amount of murders, that's one measurement. But if you look at the number of people who've been placed before the court, the number of firearms, I think the commissioner made a statement last week at a press conference that we've already superseded the Number of illegal firearms we've taken off the street as of last year, so the police are being effective. Well, yeah, it's been quite a 7 to 8 day period. It is unbelievable. It is just not letting up, and everybody's armed and everybody's doing what they want to do. And I don't know what else to say. I really don't. This is mind-boggling. Let's hear from you, though. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll-free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. And from what I understand, I have not seen it, I don't want to see it, but there are videos going around, and people just watching this stuff and counting bullet holes and just looking at everything and examining and, like, this is... Why would you want to see this? I don't understand. But when you got that a large portion of your society that is that desensitized to something horrific like that, we're almost too far gone. It means nothing. It's entertainment. It's like watching a movie. Oh, look at that. We're in a bad place. We're in a bad place. And we can blame everybody under the sun, but we've all contributed to this. Definitely. So if you want to talk about that, you can give us a call again, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Well, BPL has been a big story for a long time, and again, flaring up in the news as there's a lot happening behind the scenes and in front of our faces, with the minister inspecting the Pike trucks that are on the ground here, while the union leaders say they still don't know what's going on. So, and the workers are confused as well. So people want more answers and want to speak to those who have the answers. And they tried yesterday with little success. Take a listen to this report from our Vonik Toot.
Minister of Energy and Transport Jobeth Colby Davis took a special effort to duck news reporters on Thursday amid concerns raised by the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union over the government's plans for Bahamas Power and Light. Reporters sought to get the minister's response to the union's claim that BPL workers are frustrated and are still in the dark about their future. The minister's driver was initially parked at the entrance of the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium, where she was attending the LJM Maritime Academy cohort graduation, but drove to the side entrance upon seeing news teams. When reporters walked to the side entrance, the minister's driver then drove back to the main entrance. Minutes later, Colby Davis was seen walking out of the side entrance and jumping into a white truck. Her driver then drove away from the entrance. The minister's silence comes as some union leaders accuse the government of violating the memorandum of understanding they signed with the Progressive Liberal Party while it was still in opposition back in 2021. Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands said Bahamian workers got swung.
Back then, many thought that the memorandum was just a political and public relations gimmick designed to win an election and to take advantage of workers, and they were right. 3 years later, we can confirm that the Davis administration and the PLP have demonstrated nothing but utter disrespect and contempt for workers.
BEWU President Kyle Wilson said workers are angry and ready for action. Sands said workers have every right to feel that way.
They signed that memorandum, they took their votes, and they abandoned the workers. And so the BEWU, Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, is rightfully vexed that the PLP has kept them in the dark about the secret plans for BPL. The head of one of their unions said that the deal appears to be top secret and classified, and that there are little to no details known to the union. So what is the government hiding from the workers and the country?
TUC President Obi Ferguson has questioned what was the point of union leaders signing the MOU back in 2021.
We're going to stand firm. Because, politicians do what they want to do. But let me tell you something. When those numbers start coming in, everybody gets some sense in their head. To whom much is given, to whom much is expected. We're not going to allow that to happen. So you ain't going to be alone. I can assure you that. What's the point of signing a memorandum of understanding? What was the significance of that? We got criticized for that from a number of unions.
The Ministry of Energy and Transport said in a statement on Wednesday it is committed to ensuring that all agreements with unions representing BPL employees are honored. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Voining Sood.
All right, so we're going to talk more about that MOU again in our business hour at 9 o'clock with Belinda Wilson, the head of the BNA-TUC, the other umbrella union in the country. But we want to talk about BPL and how it is hard to understand a lot of what's going on. And as we've told you, Kyle Wilson will be our guest shortly. But let's hear from you. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing? Happy Friday.
Same to you. Same to you.
This is the GNN. Listen, when this first happened, the Bahamian people, a lot of Bahamian people were up in arms with those unions because it's like they were sidetracking the government. We know stuff like this was going to happen back then. It happened to them. We told you so the other day when you brought this up several weeks ago. I called and I told the BEC unit, don't trust them. Do not trust them. The man, I don't know what was wrong with his head. Obi Ferguson, I can guarantee you, is not to be trusted because of his political affiliation. I ain't going to go further to say what he is. But Obi Ferguson was the one who told the nation years ago on national radio and TV he would never lead an uprising against his party. So let the Bahamian people figure that out. Don't mind him talking. Don't mind Obi talking. Those union leaders, all of them should be fired. Thanks for taking my call, Dwight.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of bombs dropped there. Wow. Okay. Interesting. You can share your views. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. We got some text messages about crime. Wow, look at that. This person says here, Dwight, why the surprise? We allow the force to claim things like zero tolerance. And then they just leave it and yet. Well, I mean, it does seem to be getting more and more heartless, right? I mean, like, these are assassins now. It isn't crime of passion. You know what I mean? Like, you did something and no, people are coming, taking out hits and like what you see in mobster movies. So it's something else. This text here says, crime is a problem of the mind. No minister, no government, and no consultant can solve it. Let's start with why. Poverty, education, love, self-awareness, and opportunities can be good starts. You mean eradicating poverty. Okay. And this person says, Dwight, honestly, do you feel the Prime Minister and other leaders really care about the murders? What are they doing? Talking can no longer cut it. We are in a state of emergency. Why don't they care? I can't answer it, but we got a lot of people who are thinking that this is, again, they've been saying that for years, and I think a lot of people believe it, that it's only gangs. If you're not in a gang, you're going to be okay. If you're not involved in any illegal activity, you're going to be okay. If you ain't teething somebody, girl, you're going to be okay. If you live your life not bothering anybody, you should be okay. That's how a lot of people feel, and that if the hooligans want to kill themselves, oh well. But as we've seen, many innocent bystanders get hurt as well. And so that is a challenge. Caller, what say you? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And you by yourself?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dwight. For 51 years now, we was electing strategists, right? And they go in their little corners. The formalized strategies, right? Just to keep the Bahamian people going around and around. Because for this time, right? I mean, you know this to be a 50-year-old country, and we still moving backwards, right? That's intentionally, right? Because see, the same way these people them just go and sit down and find strategies to swing the Bahamian people. What if they was going inside those same corners to find strategies to help the Bahamian people? You know how far we could have been as a people.
Like what? What do you mean? What strategies like what?
I'm talking about like the strategy what they use with the unions, right, during the last election, right? That was a strategy to do exactly what we see happening right now, right? What if that was a strategy to really benefit the people, right, rather than suppressing the people, right? Because at the end of the day, the stench from the status quo is so strong in this country to the point that it makes it look impossible for if things really could change, because we only elect people who are so interested in keeping what they met in place. Is ridiculous.
I mean, you don't think anybody's done anything to help anybody?
Yes, man, Dwight, man, people God help, man, but from a nation perspective, man, the nation ain't getting help. Yeah, one or two persons getting nicks and knocks, but that ain't trickling down to the whole massive. That ain't trickling down to the islands, Dwight. It isn't, because right around the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and see how we retracted from a nation the way we are right now, a stagnated nation. We ain't moving nowhere. We just sitting here, and we have to move. We have to get these mindset with leading us, Dwight, out of these positions of authority, because they're not interested. All they are and this is being demonstrated. Thus, ain't nobody telling us this. This what we seeing happen every day in this country for the last 50 years almost, where our leaders, they give us a little, they give us a little straw, but they ain't put nothing inside the cup for us to drink with it. It's crazy.
So what would you want to see? Tell me some more. What do you think would go a long way to helping deal with all the issues we're having right now? What type of help you want to see for people?
Right. What I believe what the Bahamas need right now is a paradigm shift from what we used to, right? Right now, how we can get there, right? That's another talk show, right? But that's what we need, and I believe if we have more conversation on how we could get there, right? Then we, because, and it can't be coming from the people who doing their best to keep us inside there, right? Inside that mindset, because they have no interest in that, right? The Bahamian people gonna have to come together one point in this country. I hope it before it be too late, and let our politician knows that look here, you work for us. We didn't put you inside that position for us to turn around and worship you and start calling you Lord and King and God and all. No. We ain't dying what you was elected for. You was elected to bring more comfort and betterment to the lives of the people who elected you. And that's it. You ain't supposed to be going there to try to, once you reach there, you start looking down at me to the point that whatever I have to say ain't make no sense to you no more. We have to move away from that. And the Bahamas need a serious paradigm shift, man, in every aspect of our living, because in a few more years, right, you can't find nothing but Bahamian in this country. Believe that.
Wow.
Believe that, Dwight.
All right.
Have a nice day, man.
Thank you
The
very
show
much.
is always wonderful.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your contributions always. All right, so this was clearly we got cut off this text earlier, so they've sent the full text now. So why the surprise, Dwight? We allow the force to claim things like zero tolerance and other cliche phrases, yet simple deterrents like making traffic cops stay in places all day or at least a whole shift get ignored. Violations are taking place on the road daily, but all these folks can do is beg for more cars to ride up and down. Talking about saturation patrols and annoying roadblock shakedowns for the Treasury. Too much inconsistency to be taken seriously. All right. I think you're making some really good points. Yeah. People have been saying that for decades. Cracking down on the little things will send messages to people that you cannot get away with everything. And yeah, but we could tell the police force where every day we see people turning right on red lights, where they are just overtaking 50 cars to get to the front of the line for no reason, and they think they can do it, and no one's going to stop them. And what's the big deal, right? And of course, this no license plate situation is really, I'm sure, creating a lot of challenges for everybody, because some people legitimately don't have a license, and some are pretty happy to be trying to blend in with those people. And this is madness. This is complete and total madness. But I think you are onto something. Thank you for the text. Appreciate it. Some more messages. You're talking about the wrong things. I went to pay my bill yesterday. This is what, BPL? It's $162 higher than last month. She knows, I guess she's talking about, the person's talking about JoBeth Kobe Davis. She knows why she's running. And, wow, I can't read this word. And ducking. Oh, did you mean to say ducking? Because that's not a D. Anyway, ducking and dodging. She promised us the bills will be cheaper. No one on the line yesterday's bill was less. Big disgrace. Okay, now I can't believe I'm going to defend this. But, I mean, they said that beginning this month it would start. So I don't know if your bill, which is basically for June, would reflect that. So it would seem to me that next month's bill should reflect some of these. Should. Don't hold it against me if it doesn't. But beginning this month, that wouldn't be your bill this month. That'd be your bill next month. Let's see. Next month this time, let's carry on, if it's higher. But you're right. Everybody's bill was a little bit higher this month, it seems. Almost everybody. We're talking about all of it, so it's not the wrong things, but we're talking about that too. This person says the paper on which the MOU was written would have served a greater purpose on the roll next to a latrine. Well, yesterday I said it would have been the equivalent of what lines a dog cage. So we're on the same lines. Dwight, I saw a 60% difference in my light bill this month. The Prime Minister kept his promise. Don't know about everyone else. 60%? You were out of town for 4 weeks? What are you talking about? 60% down? Where did you go? I mean, you turned off the breakers? Oof, okay, maybe you turned it into a sauna, and then you just turned off the AC and just sat there. I don't understand. Explain yourself. What did you do to do this? Because we all need to follow you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
How you doing?
Doing
Good morning, Bahamas. Well, Dwight, like Dwayne San says, out of disrespect and contempt to the Bahamian people, which constituency is JoBeth Colby from? Colby Davis?
Yeah, I don't remember offhand. I'll
Her
get in a second.
constituents need to pay special attention to, her activity, because, that ministry was seemed to be tailor-made and created for her. I don't know what gave her the qualifications, but her ducking and running.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, well, Elizabeth. Well, they especially needs to remember that her ministry and the effects of BPL is for all of us to behold. Now, like Dwayne San said, the utter disrespect, and contempt for the Bahamian citizens. And sadly, the BPL workers and the president of the union have to realize, like someone texted yesterday and said, when you make a deal with the devil, what else do you expect? You can't dance and sleep and be around with the devil. But we have to look at, like I made a contribution yesterday when I was saying that people have to take it in stride, because if they've already signed a contract, the government will seem to be committed to that contract, right, for 25 years?
Clearly, it seems that way. The trucks are already on the ground.
Oh, okay, yeah, but her inspecting, and she don't know about inspecting anything. But you have to look at it from a personal perspective now and do what you have to do. In the constituencies in your neighborhood, like credit unions or credit cooperatives, we need to organize ourselves, and especially in those settlements in the Old Islands, and pool your resources. And like I say, invest in the solar panels because God gave us this energy free, right?
Well, sure, yes.
That's right. The $50,000 investment offering expires today.
That's
you
right.
Said, and you made a comment and said you even ain't got probably $50 to invest, right?
No.
But
it's 40, 45 now.
But Dwight, let's look at it now. An inverter and some one panel at a time, and there are companies that are selling solar systems, I guess, with packages. And if you start now to invest for your personal home,
You better believe it.
and reduce your, and you won't have no energy costs in the day when it's hot. If BPL goes off in the day, it wouldn't affect you. And I'm speaking to everybody who's listening.
You're in my head. This is, people keep talking about Project 2025. I don't know what that is, but that's my Project 2025. I'm going to check out solar.
Don't worry about all these terms and these, these projects or schemes and schisms they talk about. I'm just speaking from me to you, right? If you get energy free from your solar system that you may purchase from one of the shows said the company Sky Solar, three blocks up from S.C. McPherson on Blue Hill Road. I just learned of that name that is offering solar energy and some other
Turning
companies.
this into an ad? What's happening? But yes, there are lots of companies out there doing stuff. But honestly, everybody needs to be thinking about it. Maybe putting off a trip or something just to invest in that to bring some relief, regardless of what happens with BPL.
Right. And in the day, let's look at it like this. In the day, while you're running off God's energy, you could run your air conditioning straight through. And Howard has this thing of saying that it was so hot he had to go to the beach and carry his children. And while you're running in the day, you could be running your air conditioning straight through. It wouldn't cost you a thing. And when the evening comes, once your house is already cooled, when the sun goes down, then there's no heat up in the ceiling and in the box, and you cool to go. And you run it off of BPL after that, and you could make it through the night.
Yep, absolutely.
That's
Sounds
my
like a plan.
advice.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, and let's just personally invest that money. Don't take you get your ASU draw or you get whatever it is and go and blow it and partying and running this way and buying to those and buying some let's say some wigs or some extensions or whatever it may be.
Right, whatever it is.
Yeah,
right. Don't blow it. Think about saving some money so that you can have even a better trip and buy more weave
and be
in the future.
Very comfortable.
Right, there you go.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
This is for everybody. Advice to everybody. We got to break whatever sweetheart deal these people got with them, and let's bankrupt Island Grid and them.
Well,
see what they're
I
gonna
mean,
do.
you don't have to go that extreme, but just take care of yourselves. Absolutely. But let's read these messages as we get ready for a break. This person says here, so the minister jumped up and jumped in a pickup truck and ran away. Strong response right there. Why are you ducking? Yeah, well, we're all trying to figure out what that was about. Maybe she had somewhere to go. Maybe she had another meeting. Maybe she had to inspect some more trucks. I don't know. I don't know. People are busy. Dwight, I'd like to see the eastern part of Bay Street developed into a cultural area. This is out of nowhere, but I like it. Where art and performances take place. I would like to see living spaces and a market. Residents and tourists need something to do. That part of Bay Street is a waste of time. By the way, I agree with the text about the traffic police. Too many infractions on the road, yeah. This texter says here, how can I send you a snapshot of my bill from May and June? My bill has almost doubled, while my usage is less. I can see why Jo Beth Colby Davis is running and hiding. She should be ashamed to be a minister and failing like this. Yikes. Not easy today. Cracking down on little things is not helpful. Cracking down on critical things would be more useful. I think we can do both. We've got enough people around to do both. Unfortunately, people who commit big crimes tend to be able to afford good attorneys. Speaking of the license plate issue, I see a very scary practice taking place. Cars with no plates and SD plates are constantly picking up tourists and acting like taxi drivers. This is very, very dangerous. Indeed. The bills shouldn't be going up. They should be going down. That's what Colby Davis said last year about the sliding scale and what the Prime Minister said about relief coming in July, if that has any truth. But like I said, it means not necessarily that you'd see that immediately, not now, but it would begin in July and hopefully next month. That's what I took away from that, but I could be completely wrong. But we'll see. But the bills are ridiculous. This person says, yes, the BPL bills are ridiculous. Ashanti explained, what? BPL customer service, what's going on? Is a first, okay. The bulk of the bill is not even your usage, but fuel surcharge. We really need relief. Another text, I encourage Bahamians to follow what the Kenyans are doing to let their government know they're tired of corruption and what those protests have forced the government to do in response. We need to get up as citizens and speak out, Bahamians. They're hoping you all voice your frustration at the polls, but you have a right to protest and force them to listen and change now. Wake up, Bahamas. Demand better if you want it. And a couple more as we go to the break. Let's go. Hey, let the PLP know that they will be fired, okay? We don't want the F&M either. Both of them have this country in this mess. There is no real opportunity for Bahamians. Wow. And she was test driving the trucks. I don't know what... Oh, boy. Let's go to the break. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Something just ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. Why you acting so uptight?
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. The nation's two most popular Democrats are announcing their support for Vice President Kamala Harris as she campaigns for the White House. Former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me. I'm looking forward to doing this with the two of you, Doug and I both. And getting out there, being on the road.
The campaign video released just this morning. Vice President Harris met with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday in Washington to talk about the war in Gaza.
So I just had a frank and constructive meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu. I told him that I will always ensure that Israel is able to defend itself, including from Iran and Iran-backed militias such as Hamas and Hezbollah.
She also focused on the need to ease Palestinian suffering. In France, arson attacks on the high-speed rail network today, the day of the Olympics opening ceremony. The sports minister, Amélie Oudéa-Castéra, talked to Sky News about the attacks.
I condemn them, extremely strongly. It's just unacceptable. It's probably a large-scale sabotage with some malicious acts probably coordinating. We're still in the process of analyzing all the impacts.
Now to those wildfires here in the West. A suspect is under arrest after a burning car pushed into a gully sparked California's largest wildfire of the year, say authorities. The fire has burned more than 195 square miles near the city of Chico. Former First Lady Melania Trump has a memoir coming out this fall. This is AP News. How's our economy doing? The AP's Haya Panjwani.
The nation's economy accelerated last quarter, with consumers and businesses helping drive growth despite the pressure of continually high interest rates. That's according to a report from the Commerce Department, which said that the gross domestic product, the economy's total output of goods and services, was at a strong 2.8% annual pace. PNC chief economist Gus Fauché says people were spending more, which straightened the economy.
Consumers bought more goods, so they bought more cars, they bought more appliances. They bought more of things like clothing and medicine, things like that. They also purchased more services. So we traveled more, we went to the doctor more. But we also saw strong growth in business investments.
Even though inflation has slowed down from 9.1% in 2022, prices remain well above their pre-pandemic levels. Haya Panjwani, Washington.
And I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
Got your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. Got a couple of traffic alerts for you. Just a reminder of the work on Tawny Williams-Darling Highway between Independence Drive and Bahamas Games Boulevard. That is phase 1 that continues today between 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. They're preparing that road for repaving. You're being asked to avoid the area if you can, or follow the posted traffic signs. Then downtown, Bay Street is closed, a portion of it between Parliament and East Street. It's the Goombay Festival happening today, and so you might want to avoid that area if you're not going to the festival. And that gets underway later this afternoon, but they're closing it for preparation for that, it seems. So keep that in mind today. With your real-time traffic, we're seeing some congestion in downtown Nassau around that area. So it's already started there. East Street looking busy as traffic is being diverted. Elsewhere, we've got Milo Highway, not looking so bad, but just as you get north of Harold Pond, you see that line in front of you to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway, and pockets along Prince Charles Drive, especially near Elizabeth Estates, and at the intersection with Beatrice Avenue. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. That severe weather warning has been extended to 8:25 this morning. So it's a thunderstorm warning in effect for Rum Key, San Salvador, Long Island, Acklands, Crooked Island, Long Key, and their keys and adjacent waters. The thunderstorm warning for New Providence and the northern Exuma Keys has been lifted. So as we told you, there's a lot going on weather-wise today. We've got the Bermuda High that continues to extend, ridging across the islands, generating moderate to local fresh winds. And we've got mid to upper level troughing, along with a surface trough that will support some shower and thunderstorm activity over portions of the country today. We've got a heat advisory, and everyone's being advised to limit outdoor activities. UV indices expected to be in the moderate range as well. And boaters should be alert for possible waterspout activity. Beachgoers should be alert for rip currents along eastern and southern coastlines. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny and hot with isolated showers and a few isolated thunderstorms through tonight. For the central and southeastern islands, partly cloudy, hot, and breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Temperatures getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But the heat index will make it feel like it's 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, the mid to upper level troughing will continue to support shower and thunderstorm activity on Saturday, while gradually lifting to the west. Meanwhile, high pressure ridging will maintain locally to moderate to locally fresh winds. So for Saturday, tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid with isolated to widely scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms. Sunday, partly mostly cloudy, hot and humid again with isolated showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms. The tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 7 days. At your morning blend weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Thinking of a new car? Well, make it electric. Visit iamgeneratione.com and plug into a better driving experience.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Age ain't nothing but a number, they say. Whether you're a baby boomer or a Gen X, Y, or Z, Easy Car Sales invites you to be part of the new Generation E. We drive electric for the savings, for the planet, and most importantly, for the smooth, powerful ride. You really can have it all. We love our EV and we are Generation E. Join us. Everyone is welcome. Visit iamgeneratione.com to find out more. Brought to you by Easy Car Sales.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Valpo Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Deals, 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 and more deals. Bundle and save. Bargains all day as BWF is celebrating its 52nd anniversary in grand style. 1 week of blowout savings up to 50% off July 22nd through July 25th. And a red-hot clearance sale under the big tent outside July 26th through 27th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Everything must go. Don't miss it. Be there and save, save, save. Savings include appliance combo specials, ductless AC units, barbecue grills, kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, lawn and garden cooking supplies, automotive supplies and accessories, hardware supplies, generators, compressors and pressure washers, industrial supplies and power tools, household supplies, craft supplies and floral deco, and so much more. BWF, we are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street, telephone 394-0004 or 6. Check us out on Facebook. We ship to the Family Islands.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And I say, boy, my island's in the sun, 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 sun. Bring it up now. And I say, boy, my island's in the sun. Carnival time is here. Cause when I turn to party, this drunk and
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you on this Friday morning. Again, it's a busy Friday morning. We've got a lot to talk about this morning, and we're very happy to have with us from the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, President Kyle Wilson and Vice President Antonio Dean. Gentlemen, great to have you with us. Welcome back.
Well, it's good to be here this morning. Thank you for having us, and hello to all the fine Bahamian people and all the great workers of the BEWU and all the great workers of the country at large. Good morning.
All right, so you heard us talking earlier, talking about your minister who didn't want to answer the questions of the media yesterday. But they are saying, the Ministry of Energy and Transport, that they are committed to the workers. They've got an ironclad commitment, they're saying, and that you basically, from the statement they released this week, that you really don't have anything to worry about. Why is that not good enough for the BWU?
Dwight, no one has ever spoken directly to this union or consulted with this union or informed the union how this deal is going to play out. So you telling me that, you're telling me that in a vacuum. What does it mean to me when you say these things? Because I've heard this before. I've heard the same thing with Wadzilla, and we're going to treat the worker, we're going to hire Bahamians and X, Y, Z, and when this Wadzilla plant comes, it's going to be a game changer for generation, and we're not going to have blackouts anymore, and this is not going to happen, and that's not going to happen. Wadzilla doesn't even exist probably 4 years later. It was a complete disaster, and this administration had done away with it. And it looks like a repeat of the same. We heard the same thing with BTC, right? And we keep hearing the same thing. It says, fool me once, shame on me. Mm-hmm. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
And so with the optics of what we're seeing right now is like a firestorm amongst the workers, a frustration, especially with the optics of those pictures with the trucks, right? And
why was that a concern?
Because
to see the Pike trucks here.
Because the way it was done, right, it's like I'm shoving it in the face of the BPL workers who was asking for these same vehicles for years on end to do their jobs. And we weren't given those trucks, and no one came to inspect our fleets and understand what we were doing, because we were short-handed on vehicles.
Wow.
And so when the minister is bragging and purporting on private property owned by a third party, right, that they're doing a deal with, and not bragging on the public assets or showing what we're doing for our people, it painted a picture of fear to the members, like, hey, we're done for because these people are already bragging on this private company. Mm-hmm. They ain't checking for us.
But I'm sure they're going to say Pike has money and we need people with money and entity with money. So if they brought in their trucks, that's on them. We can't afford to give you all trucks.
A picture paints 1,000 words. When you've not consulted with this union, when the union leader asks you as the minister, could you expand on what this deal is going to mean for the workers and how it's going to work out? And you tell me in no uncertain terms, no, right? I was frustrated. I was broken. I was hurt and angry and embarrassed. But I had to sit there with a smile on my face because I couldn't make it about me, because I have to represent these people and I'm trying to get the answers for them. And so I even let it go. I wrote back, no response, right? So who are you committed to? When I represent those people you're claiming to be committed to, and I'm asking you questions that they asked me to find out about their futures, and you're telling me no. And I'm writing to you to get a response for those people, and you're not responding back, but you're going to take time out to take pictures of trucks that for another third-party entity. I mean, I represent people. I don't represent myself. It's not my views. I was elected. We are elected by those people that you say that you care for and you are going to look out for. Well, if you're disrespecting their leadership, you're disrespecting them, okay? And so this government, and again, and when we talk about not just industrial agreement that talks about how you transfer labor and deal with it, let's go back to this MOU that was signed in August of 2021 that speaks to issues like this, that says that we ought to have a seat at the table when you're dealing with public assets, especially with foreigners. That's what it says. Yeah. It says that, and the Prime Minister's signature is there, and I think the chairman of the party, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, his signature is on that document, and they said these things are supposed to be brought into legislation. When it talks about we must have a seat on the pension boards, why is the union fighting to have a seat on the pension board? So if you care about the people, honor what you said that you're going to do for them in writing. You see, no politician loves the union more than the opposition. No. And no politician hates the union more than when they're in government. I've never seen such a thing. They love you when they're out of power and hate you when they're in power. The proof is in the pudding. Okay?
We'll talk more about the MOU in a little bit, but I mean, we knew that back in 2021 too, though, right? Yeah. So it's not really surprising, is it, that this has happened? But we'll get to that in a bit.
Surprise.
But Antonio Dean, you grimaced when I was asking that question earlier. What do you have to say? What's going through your mind?
Morning all. Morning, Bahamas. It's a pleasure to be here.
Get a little closer to the mic for us there.
It's a pleasure to be here to represent the membership, speak, have a voice for those that don't have a voice for themselves or are not being heard. Our bottom line is, if we settle into something that is signed, sealed, delivered, we want assurance in black and white that we are secure. We want to know at the end of the day, I have no worries about not having a job, not having a future, not having security. This is by and large not just about BPL employees or the union. This is a nationwide concern. We must understand that as a Bahamian, I don't look to be a second-rate citizen. I don't look to be treated that way. Of course, you have to venture out sometimes and you get foreign help, per se. But there's a way that you do it. There's a percentage margin that's supposed to be accepted. You understand what I mean? If I don't have the assurity that I am secure in where I am in my own home, we have a problem. And this is what we have to see now, every Bahamian, because I am a Bahamian first, even before I am a staff of BPL.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, it's incumbent upon the government themselves to represent us properly. And if we feel that we are not being represented properly and we are not getting the answers from you that we rightfully deserve, then quite naturally there's going to be contention.
Right. Any idea as to how many people might be seconded to the
we're talking
company?
about basically if you give them 60% control of the entire transmission distribution network, you're talking about the entire distribution staff, right? And so
what number is that?
Well, that could be as high as possibly maybe 300 people.
300 to 400.
Maybe 300 to 400 people, because BPL's major brunt of the staff is the distribution and transmission staff.
Right.
Okay? And so that even encompasses transport services. And so when the transportation fleet and fleet services see all these trucks, and they're saying, well, what is our future in transport? What is our future in fleet services? What's happening for us?
We got to go to the news. But so if that is the case, though, with the option that you could return to BPL after you've been seconded, what would you return to?
Thank you. What am I returning to? What am I returning to? I mean, it's so obvious. All
right, we'll pick that up on the other side of the break. We're going to break for news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're talking with Kyle Wilson and Antonio Dean with the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on Guardian Talk, radio.com, and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:28, it is time for another check of your weather, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. That thunderstorm warning has been extended to 8:55 a.m. It is now covering central and south Abaco. And the thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Rum Key, San Salvador, Long Island, Acklands, Crooked Island, Long Key, and their keys and adjacent water. So again, that's extended to 8:55 now. It's as a result of a number of factors. We've got the Bermuda High that continues to extend ridging across the country, generating moderate to locally fresh winds. Meanwhile, mid to upper level troughing along with surface trough will support shower and thunderstorm activity over the portions of the country today. We've got a heat advisory in effect as well, and UV indices expected to be in the moderate range. Everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities. Plus, boaters should be looking out for waterspout activity, and beachgoers should be alert for the moderate risk of rip currents, mainly along eastern and southern shorelines. For today, for the Northwest Bahamas, we're looking at partly sunny and hot conditions with isolated showers and a few isolated thunderstorms through tonight. For the Central and Southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy, hot, and a bit breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Temperatures getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel like it's 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, the mid to upper level troughing will continue to support shower and thunderstorm activity on Saturday while gradually shifting to the west. Meanwhile, high pressure ridging will support moderate to locally fresh winds. So for Saturday into Sunday, partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Again, through most of the weekend. And the tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected through the next 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in store today. And you got another check of your traffic brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of what's happening downtown. We've got the Gumbe Festival today in downtown Nassau, and we're already seeing some street closures and diversions, and that is causing some major traffic in the downtown area on Bay Street. Again, traffic's being diverted, so we're seeing traffic piling up on Shirley Street as well. So that area, if you don't need to be there, avoid it. Blue Hill Road, northbound to downtown, looking busy for you. Duke Street, Bay Street, Shirley Street, that whole area. Not a pleasant place to be at this hour. But again, the festival is today, 5 p.m. to midnight. In the other parts of the province, you're seeing heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout straight through to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway northbound. Gladstone Road looks like it's building there as well, northbound for you. And Carmichael to Blue Hill Road, that area looking a bit congested. A reminder of the work that's going on in Tawny Williams-Darling Highway between Bahamas Games Boulevard and Independence Drive in the eastbound lane, so the northern side of the road. You want to avoid the area if you can. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
And I say, boy, my island's in the sun, 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 sun. Bring it up now. And I say, boy, my island's in the sun. Carnival time is here. Cause when I turn to party, this drunk and they got me wet, so boy.
And we're back with Morning Blend. Dwight Strong with you on this Friday morning. We are talking with Kyle Wilson and Antonio Dean with the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union before the break, getting into what the concerns really are. Of course, talking about the insecurity, not knowing what this is going to mean if you are seconded and if you go back to BPL, what that would mean. Let's talk some more about some other concerns that you have at this time.
Yeah. Well, Dwight, we're not saying that upgrading the infrastructure, modernizing the facilities is a bad thing. It could be a great thing. It probably is a good thing. But is the way they're going about it the right thing or the right way? The disrespect to the union, the total ignoring of agreements, the total ignoring of the union and its leadership, trying to speak around the union. Oh, we're going to speak to the staff. And you're just talking about technical points and upgrades and not listening to the union as to the staff component. And you're telling the media, oh, well, we met with the union. Did you meet with me? But did you respond to my questions? Did you give the answers for me to take back? Mm-hmm. And it's really frustrating the membership. And so they don't know the daily grind that the union has to go through and the process is to try to even get answers to these situations. And we've been trying, we're working on.
When was the last time you had to sit down face-to-face?
About a few weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. We were invited to the minister's office, and we sat there for an hour, and then she comes in and for about 5 minutes. And when I asked a question of her that she could elaborate, she told me no, right? And that was like a shocker to me because I have to go back to these people. But then I wrote back, and I still have yet to get a response, right? So at this point, if we're trying to do the right thing in the right way, we're trying to be corporately responsible to the Bahamian people because we don't want to just go out there, carry on, demonstrate. It's really hard. It's a lot going on. And we don't want to frustrate the Bahamian people with differences that between the union and the ministry, but these are our leaders. These are the people who have control and oversight over the energy sector. And look how they're disrespecting openly the union, the leadership that's been elected by the same people. And you're going to say, oh, we're going to have a meeting with the workers. Well, that meeting ain't going to happen until you sit down with us and give us the answers to our questions that we could take back to our membership. You ain't going to speak around this union. The disrespect ends today. We're not going to take it anymore. Enough is enough. We've been more than responsible in how we're trying to handle this situation to cause minimal public disruption. But enough is enough, Dwight, man. How can two walk together? In Amos chapter 3, I think verse 3, how could two walk together unless they agree, right? You've not come to this union and got our agreement or respect to this situation in no which way. You're not telling us what you're doing with our pensions. You're not going to tell us what's going to happen to the pensions if they were to be transferred to another entity. You're not telling us what's going to happen to our health care. You're not telling us what's going to happen to our gratuity and continuity.
But they're saying nothing's going to change. It's ironclad. What you have now will be existing no matter what. That's not enough for you?
Anything.
Yes.
I
can say anything.
Show me in your RFP, show me in your proposals to these companies that you were to say to these companies that the continuity of these people employment, that their benefits and everything must be secured when you take on this package or you take on this contract. Mm-hmm. Show me that you put that in black and white to even them, right? And what's even more of a disrespect, I've never seen or met one official from this company yet. Mm-hmm. And you're taking pictures with their trucks. Mm-hmm. And you even come and sit down with the union and these people and say, these are the people who are going to be taking over or leading you or supervising or managing, or your members are going to be working along with. So don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect me as a Bahamian. Don't disrespect me as also an elected leader of these people. You've been elected at the national level to oversee their affairs, right? They put you there. We put you there. But they put me here to oversee their benefits and their day-to-day living. They put me here to do that. So don't tell me no with an attitude or feel it's okay to walk on me because you may have the power of a ministry, right? And you may have the government power and all this big power, right? You have no right to walk on me. I represent these people. And like Rod Parsley said, silent no more. I can't take it no more. I've had enough. I'm trying to keep the calm. I'm trying to keep the respect, right? You've heard the Congress leader, Obie Ferguson, says he has had enough now. And he's seen the disrespect. And he's seen them not live up to what was promised. You ain't just hearing it from Kyle. You're hearing it from the Congress leader who said he supports this union 100%. And if the union has to do what it has to do, we have complete and full support of the Trade Union Congress in doing what we have to do if it boils down to it. Sit with us. Let's get it right. We want consultation, not confrontation. Mm-hmm. We want consultation. But just like the American eagle, he has the arrows in one, he has the olive branch in one. Okay? We want to give you peace. But if you want war and you want disrespect and you want to do that, well, the union has to do what it has to do to protect its workers.
Mm-hmm. And Tony?
I dare to say, even so, with the way we are being treated right now, even in retrospect, we're looking at the fact that our government, our leaders, the minister, we have a foreign entity that has come into our company now, all right, under Pike, Island Grid, Bahama, whatever names they choose to put there. My thing is, and I'll speak straight to Pike in this instance. I mean, I think you have an obligation to sit down and speak with the union, all right? The level of disrespect that is coming from the government is enough. But you yourself, if you are a business-oriented entity, you know for sure you don't want to come into a situation that is contentious.
You're part of it.
You don't want to add to that. You understand me? If you see that there is something that is really going on between these parties and you are about to get involved in this, shouldn't it be that you come, not with the arrow, like the president said, come with your olive branch. Mm-hmm. Sit down, come, let us reason. So we could get an understanding of who you are, you can get an understanding of who we are, and we can meet in the middle. I would admonish our minister to at least scan over our industrial agreement. Read it. It's a good book. What is in there? actually speaks to some of the things that you are doing wrong. And we stand on that. That is signed, sealed, and delivered. That is a contract, and it is binding. The world is only as big, Dwight, the world is only as big as a conversation.
Yeah.
You could spend the time to go and inspect pike trucks, but you can't make the time to sit down and speak with the union. We have to get to all of this before we have conversation.
Have you all reached out to Pike, or are you waiting, or you prefer for them to come to you?
I would say that they need to come to us. I ain't get what must I say. This
You
is my
was a stranger
country.
in my home.
I must come to you.
You gotta come to me.
You come to my country. This
You
is
in my
our
house.
company. Right? The people who give you this contract, they represent us though. I ain't running to you.
Yeah. You in my house. So therefore, when you come in my house, you're going to treat me with the respect that I deserve.
I find it strange. It's such a major company, right? And we're not trying to go at nobody per se, but a major company that does that, big business across the U.S. You come into the house, right? You know you got a union. That you know the union represent the workers. At what point are you going to say, "I'd like to meet the representation of the people," the
That
same
would be the
people
right
you
thing
want
to do.
seconded to your company to work with? And you could say to me, "Kyle, you know what, we do some," and so whatever you got to sit down and come to agreement on to make sure we're in line with your agreements and we're not in violation of them. We're willing to sit and discuss these things. But here's what we can do. Here's where your workers can learn from us. Here's where we can learn from you. And so it could be back and forth. Our workers are knowledgeable too. Don't dumbing down the Bahamian workers.
Please
like
don't.
we could only learn from them. These are linesmen, awarded linesmen who have gone through all the training, certified, right, and work for Carolec, and they've gone and worked in countries where they've had natural disasters to help restore power internationally. So don't tell me that our linesmen are second rate just because these guys are probably from another country and probably of a lighter hue. That makes us lesser than them. Don't try that one with us. Our linesmen are some of the best linesmen in the world because you know what I know? They go and work for foreign companies. They go to the U.S., they go around the country, and they're hired one shot, right? But in the way they presented it, they presented like the Bahamian work. No, you know the problem is? We didn't get the trucks. We didn't get the tools. We didn't get the things to do their job. But Pike gets all the trucks. They get their tools. And so it's going to make it look like, oh, they're so much better than us, right? Oh, they're going to do live line work. I'd like to see someone work on a live 33 kV line. That can't happen. I can tell you. So don't try to purport like we're not. See, Dwight, I just want to say this. Like, and I'm going to repeat again, like Dr. Parson Nelson Shores, where there's no structure, look for destruction. The union should be a part of the national tripartite structure that we put in with as government, workers, and employers, right? And there's no two-sided triangle, okay? It needs to have all equal sides. When you're to the table working these things out, you're missing a side of that triangle, which is the representation of the labor force in this deal. So it tells me that they think of us as nothing, right? And I'm not talking about Pike. Our leaders are telling me to my face, we think of you as almost nothing because we don't even care to include you, and you will do as we say. We're going to trade your labor like the little probably slaves. But slavery ended in the 1800s, I think. You don't have the right to move my labor as you wish.
We democratic, or democracy, sorry. This is democracy.
Last time I checked.
Well, are you sure?
Last time I checked, it's supposed to be democracy.
Wow.
We're looking like a dictatorship.
All right, so we don't have that much time left, but I just want to. We talked about this off air. That this tweet I saw a few days ago, and this is probably a lot of Bahamian people think like this. The tweet says, "I think BPL employees need to come to terms with the fact that Bahamians will never care about their plight, especially when they are concerned about their electricity bills and the lack of electricity sometimes, plenty times, and that they just, if this could fix it, if this can bring down the bills and keep the power on, plenty of people don't care.
Okay.
As long as it's working and I can afford it."
That sounds like a message out of a probably political hit room to try to exacerbate their deal probably, because let's look at BTC and the employment loss and the opportunities lost for Bahamians, one of our crown jewels. They don't care? Okay. Well, after us is water and sewage and probably Bahamas there, and then they're going to privatize the prison and probably even give private contracts for contracted policemen or defense force. Or where does it stop, right? Then we're out of a country, right? How could a Bahamian say we don't care about Bahamians, bring in foreigners and give them the crown jewels of our country because, you know what, I want cheap light. But when you're out of a job because it was given to a foreigner, I hope you could be able to pay your light bill too.
Now, the mindset of that is completely ludicrous. I mean, I don't understand why you would think that way, because we all are Bahamians, and every BPL employee is Bahamian
Last
first.
time I checked.
All right? So, having said that, I would leave them with this. Listen, hold no allegiance to red or yellow. Your allegiance should lie in black, gold, and aquamarine. That's what it should be. And when we start to take that mindset, we understand that what affects one affects all.
We should be our brothers' keepers as Bahamians. We should never say, do as you wish to
No, man.
another Bahamian because I want more comfort for myself. So you know what? I don't care what you do to my brother, right? It's all about me.
We're fighting for our birthright. My name is Antonio Dean, not Esau.
Well, I can tell you this
Esau
much.
gave up his birthright. I go fight for my own.
Well, just let me say this, Dwight. When we talk about the economic view of this, right? When myself as a Bahamian has a job, I can put more money into the Bahamian economy. I can buy a peanut from the Rastaman. I can go to Fish Fry and get a conch salad. I can go and support a local business or the barber shop, or I have money to put back into the economy. When those foreigners come here, they're going to get free housing, free car, free everything, and their monies are going to go back into their country's economy, okay? And so the trickle-down effect is going to come and end up hurting Bahamians because there's less money floating back into the economy. So be careful how you say you don't care about the plight of others, because there's an economic effect to hurting Bahamians as far as jobs concerned, because there's less money to flow into our economy for us.
We got 30 seconds. Somebody says here you all need to strike. Is that on the table? Or you say you're tired, you're fed up now?
Let me put it like this. I believe in diplomacy, and I'm going to try my best to get it done a diplomatic way, but all options are always on the table. It's never off.
Okay.
What needs to be done will be done.
All right. Kyle Wilson, Antonio Dean, thank you so much for being
Dwight,
here
for
this
having
morning.
us, man. Thank you so much.
It's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to be here.
Hopefully
To
the next time we
Bahamian
talk,
people,
there'll be more
thank
clarity.
you. Good morning. And
Thank you.
God bless this country, and God bless all the workers of the Bahamas.
Thank you for giving us the air of the nation.
Okay. We're going to take a break and be back with more Morning Blend on this Friday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we can sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Are you uninsured and seeking a plan that can give you quality health care at discounted rates? Unlock affordable health care with Doctors Hospital's LAMP. Enjoy unlimited primary care visits, exclusive discounts of up to 20%, and complimentary imaging and nutrition services. Visit doctorshosp.com/LAMP to register. Comprehensive, cost-effective wellness starts with LAMP.
RBC. RBC will find the right loan for all of you with competitive rates and extended terms to suit you. Whether it's for debt consolidation, your next vehicle, or home purchase, sometimes we all need a little more. No matter the reason for the loan, we're here to help you find the solution. RBC. RBC has all the loans for all of you. Let's start with a conversation today.
Craving something delicious and freshly made? Dunkin' has got you covered all day your way. From savory sausage, egg and cheese to crispy bacon, ham, and even tuna, our sandwiches are made to order just for you. Choose your favorite. Bagels, croissant, toast, or muffin. Whatever you want, we've got it. Whether it's a classic grilled cheese or a hearty club, your perfect sandwich is just a bite away. Dunkin's fresh, made-to-order sandwiches made all day your way. Only at Dunkin'. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Looking for great device deals and offers this summer? Look no further. Alive has special discounts on the latest smartphones, Ring devices, and accessories. Plus, as an Alive customer, you can expect exclusive Get Extra offers and rewards, which means even more value for your money. We're talking more data, prizes, and surprises. Upgrade with us and experience the perfect summer with Alive in store or at bealive.com/deals.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Calling all young champions, supportive sidekicks, and wise mentors. Are you ready to unleash your back-to-school superpowers? Fly into John Bull Business Center, gear up, and enjoy a super 20% off all school supplies and 10% off on teaching aids. And that's not all. With every purchase now through September 7th, enter to win a $3,000 shopping spree. Zoom in to John Bull Business Center today and gear up like a true super student.
We go everywhere. Shop early at Janae's Chesapeake Road annual back-to-school sale going on now. Get up to 20% off on all school items in stock. Yes, all school items in stock. Shirts, jumpers, skirts, boys' long and short pants, school neckties, PE shorts, in a variety of colors and school monograms. Shop early and don't miss out at Janae's Uniform Center Chesapeake Road's annual back-to-school sale going on now. Remember, we go everywhere. Beat the rush and save, save, save at Janae's annual sale now.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Oh, yeah. All right. My beautiful islands. I tell you, if the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he made the Bahamas.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you, and the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons is coming up. That's July 30th every year, and the Bahamas is going to be observing this with a number of events. Here to talk about this, we're very pleased to have with us from the Ministry of National Security, Camria Brainan. Welcome. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, so let's get some definitions in there, just so
Okay.
people know what we're talking about. What exactly is trafficking in persons?
Okay, so trafficking in persons or human trafficking, and that term is used synonymously, is a form, in its simplest definition, a form of modern-day slavery involving victims who are typically forced, threatened, and deceived into various forms of exploitation, mostly including, but not limited to, sexual and labor exploitation.
Yeah. We've seen it occasionally, people being charged here with that. How big a problem is it in the Bahamas? And does it normally involve Bahamians on both sides, as in the trafficker and the trafficked, or are we seeing other people passing through?
Okay, so in terms of the prevalence locally, on average, what we refer to as the trafficking in persons or TIP year runs from April to December. And in any given year, what we have observed, we have taken...
What do you mean by that? Is a season?
Yeah, so you know how a normal or regular year would normally run from January to December. The TIP year, because the Trafficking in Persons Inter-Ministry Committee at the Ministry of National Security, we are assessed as a country every year by the U.S. Department of State. Okay. And so it's during that period where we have to show our efforts in how it is that we combat or attempted to combat this crime of human trafficking. And so within this TIP year, or within any given TIP year, we've observed that we have discovered about 10 victims per that time period. Oh, wow. Some Bahamians and some non-Bahamians. Currently, there are a total of 7 adult victims and 5 minor children who are under the care of the Trafficking in Person Task Force at the Ministry of National Security. And I will say children because the law, the Trafficking in Persons Prevention and Suppression Act, Chapter 106 of the Penal Code, specifically Section 20 of that act, speaks to any victims coming into our care. Once they have dependent children, they also come under the care of that of the ministry. And so, yes, it affects both Bahamians. We have had Bahamians who have been trafficked in the past, but most often we see our victims originating from countries like the Caribbean and the Latin America. Say, for example, Trinidad, Jamaica, Haiti, Venezuela, and Colombia.
Right. Wow. And what about the traffickers? Any patterns emerging there?
Yes, we do. We've seen Bahamian traffickers as well. And you have persons residing in the Bahamas who are not born. They've migrated here from other countries, and we found that they themselves have also become perpetrators. We also see that more often than not, persons of the same origin, the perpetrator will target the victim from their own nationality.
Right. And this is human trafficking is different from human smuggling. Is that right?
Oh, most definitely. We find, because one of our mandates at the Ministry of National Security Trafficking in Persons Inter-Ministry Committee is to bring public awareness and make the public informed about this crime. So we do conduct a number of sensitivity trainings throughout the country, throughout the community, with government and non-government agencies. We've been in schools, we're everywhere. And the general consensus is everyone confuses smuggling with trafficking. However, the two crimes share some similarities, but they are two distinct crimes, okay?
One's a little more benevolent, sort of.
And I will let you and the Bahamian public know right now. And so both of the crimes, they're both criminal networks, and they are profitable businesses that involve human beings. Trafficking is never voluntary. Right. Never voluntary. It is a crime against a person because of the violation of the victim's rights through coercion and exploitation. The commodity is always the individual. And once the victim arrives at their intended destination or location, they are not allowed to leave. They are kept against their will and forced into some form of exploitation. Smuggling, however, on the other hand, is voluntary, whereas a person contract asks another person to move or take them across international borders. It is a crime against the nation's sovereignty.
Yeah.
The commodity there is service of movement. And it usually ends after successful border crossing, once that process is completed. And so that kind of gives you an idea of how distinct they are, with what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. A very, very good explanation there. Thank you so much. All right, so to commemorate World Trafficking in Persons, World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, you've got a number of events going on.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, gladly. And so, amidst the independence celebrations that as a country we celebrate every July, here in the Bahamas, July is also celebrated as Trafficking in Persons Month. So every July, every year, the Trafficking in Persons Inter-Ministry Committee, we initiate a number of activities, again, to engage our community, to keep our community informed of this heinous crime. And so, World Day Against Trafficking in Persons is observed globally around the world on Tuesday, July 30th. In order to, we're culminating the Trafficking in Persons Month with the observance of World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. The first event is being held this coming Saturday.
So it's tomorrow.
Yes, that's tomorrow, Saturday the 27th July, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. at the Paul Farquharson Conference Center, Police Headquarters. It is a prayer breakfast. And one may ask, well, why are you all having a prayer breakfast? Well, one, we must pray. We are a praying nation, are we not? And so what we're doing here, we are collaborating with faith-based organizations around the country to pray and thank God. Now, remember, I told you about the country being assessed. And so every year, as a country, when we're assessed, the U.S. Department of State, they rank countries around the world. You have a tier 1, which is the highest rating, which simply means that the country is doing it the best that it possibly can to combat this crime. And so for the past, I am elated to say that for the past, this year marks the 10th consecutive year that the Bahamas has received a tier 1 rating from the U.S. Department of State. And we are one of the only countries in the Caribbean with that ranking. And so we want to come together. We want to thank God for his goodness, for his grace. We want to involve our pastors, our preachers, our reverends, the congregants, and the Bahamian public in general. First of all, allowing us to achieve this rating. And then secondly, we want to continue to see God's guidance and divine intervention as we continue to combat this crime, take care of our victims, assist our victims, and bring these perpetrators to justice.
So can anyone attend or?
Anyone. And let me tell you, it is free, free, free. There is no charge. Anyone hearing this radio broadcast, anyone under the sound of my voice, there are flyers circulating. We have on the Royal Bahamas Police Force Facebook page. The word is out there. And so we want anyone who is able to attend to please come, gain a little bit more knowledge about the topic, make yourself aware, and pray with us.
How many people can you accommodate, though? What if 500 people decide to show up?
We will make room.
Okay. All right. And hopefully you'll have enough breakfast for everybody.
Definitely.
All right. Wonderful. So that's tomorrow again at 8 a.m.
Yes.
At the Paul Farquharson Conference Center, Police Headquarters. And that's not all.
No.
We've got more going on.
We do. And so on the actual day, there will be a public awareness campaign at the Mall of Marathon in the Center Court. That particular event begins at 10 a.m. and we are there until about 4.
Okay.
The theme for this year's World Day Against Trafficking in Persons is Leave No Child Behind in the Fight Against Human Trafficking. We have a guest speaker in the person of Mrs. Anne Marie Davis, spouse of the Prime Minister. Wonderful. And of course, we know she is a proponent of gender-based violence, and trafficking in person falls under that purview. She will be speaking to us We will also have booth displays. The Trafficking in Persons Inter-Ministry and Committee and Task Force is made up of several multidisciplinary organizations, government and non-government. What we want to do at the mall on Tuesday is to display these different agencies and organizations, the services that they have available to members of the public in the event, in the unfortunate event that anyone finds themselves in this situation. They know where to go, who to contact, and what services are available to them. Again, as we've referenced the theme, we're going to also have a number of activities relatable to children. And as much as, we want the entire public to come, we want the adults and we want the kids. But this particular event is targeted towards our children. We are paying special attention, putting special emphasis on our children. And so,
any particular reason for that? Why are they children?
Well, one...
the theme is leave no child
right,
behind.
and then, there are several types of trafficking, right? And so child trafficking is one of them. We see one of our vulnerable groups here, even here in the Bahamas, are usually children between the ages of 12 and 17. Wow. And so we not only want to inform the adults or the parents or the guardians, we want to inform the children as well. We want to make them aware. And so anything seems fishy, anything seems wayward or awkward. This is the era of the internet. Everyone's online. A lot of our kids tend to go online, and we find that
a lot of predators.
Yes, our perpetrators use that platform to target our victims.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's great information. We got some calls. I hope these are going to be. You don't mind if we take these, right, Cambria?
I don't.
Okay, let's brace yourself, though. But good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Strachan. I hope you didn't notice me. Good morning to the young lady.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, of course, I would appreciate it. I guess maybe we would appreciate this agenda but the thing is, I don't think the powers that be or shouldn't be really supporting what she's saying, because versus the narrative, I'm looking at the efforts, right? So we have migration problem, right? Yet still, I saw something on Facebook. I was minding my own business, and it says that it was 60 migrants that sank in some waters off Abaco on their way to Florida. And it said that there was an artist, a rap star, ran into Abaco, had a concert without anybody knowing. We didn't hear anything from national security. And then we have unabated migration from the south, which in itself, common sense. You don't need to read the headlines. Common sense should tell you that migration unabatedly interfaces with human trafficking. And so, we on the ground in the inner city, we see it. So I'm glad she mentioned the fact of labor exploitation. Give thanks. We are lost. They're duping us. And nobody, the guy that was caught on Awaki the other day, allegedly for human smuggling, you don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing about anything, the Chinese, et cetera, et cetera. I see a Chinese businessman, but anyhow, give thanks, man.
Thanks a lot. Now, the official word is that that is unconfirmed whether that did happen, that incident with the vessels. That not confirmed at all. But okay. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning to you guys.
Hi. Good morning.
Yeah, I heard the lady said the Bahamas has gotten top tier rating from the U.S. State Department.
Yes.
I don't understand that, because right now the Bahamas is 50% immigrants and 50% Bahamians. We have more Haitians in this country almost than Bahamians. So I don't understand how the Bahamas could get a top tier rating from the U.S.
This is about human trafficking. Human trafficking, not illegal migration issues.
That is smuggling.
No, right.
I'm speaking of smuggling.
Okay, well, you're speaking of smuggling. That's not what Camry is talking about. She explained the difference between human smuggling and human trafficking. We probably wouldn't get good ratings for human smuggling, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about human trafficking. And so you might, one more time, Camry, you might want to, as quickly as you can, explain the differences between the two.
Okay, so once again, trafficking is never voluntary, and trafficking is a crime against a person. the person because of violation of their rights, okay? Where they are forced into or coerced into any or some forms of exploitation. When it comes to trafficking, the commodity, what is being sold is always the individual, whether by sexual exploits, whether by labor exploits, whether by organ trade or some form of child trafficking. Smuggling, then, is where we see a lot of our migrant situations where the individual has contracted another to move them across international borders. That is voluntary.
With trafficking, often the people, you've heard these stories where people say that somebody's holding their passport. If I don't finish a job for them, I'll never get my passport. I'll be trapped here.
Yes, absolutely. One method that we find traffickers and or perpetrators tend to use the withholding of a person's identification documents and or work permits. What I want a lot of our Bahamian people to understand is that a lot of our victims migrate here legally. They do not come here by any illegal means whatsoever. We've, based on our statistics,
the victims in human trafficking?
Victims, yes, they migrate here legally under the guise of deception to be offered a better way of life. If you're living in an impoverished state, if your situation in your home country is not the best, if you're trying to find a better way of life for you and your children and your family, and you see an ad promising you something 10 times better, depending on how dire your situation is, you're going to jump at that opportunity. And we find that that is a way that the traffickers lure their victims. They promise them good life, good pay. You working, you can take care of yourself and your family, and then when they get here, the situation is different. They now take their documents from them and they force them into these acts of exploitation. One may ask, well, why they can't get away? Why they can't go to the police? Traffickers make it extremely difficult for the victim to move away or get away in order to ask for help. They threaten the victim themselves. They threaten their families.
It's terrifying. So if you are somebody you think you are seeing a trafficking situation, you think that's happening maybe in the building next door, what can you do as a regular citizen?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to say here that, and this is why it's so important for us to be informed, for us to get information. This is why it's so important for the Trafficking in Persons Committee to go out there and bring awareness to this crime. One must first know what may I be possibly looking for. And so you may not be able to see everything, but as you go throughout your daily routine, there are a few things that one can assess and look at. You may find that victims have some visible sign of injury, abuse, or fear. In cases of labor exploitation, they are working long, excessive hours in the most inhumane and degrading environments and spaces. For persons working in our healthcare sector, an individual who may come into that clinic or hospital with some recurring sexual infection or pregnancies. In terms of sexual exploitation, you find that victims do not have access to their own funds and they are not in control of their own personal documents. And take a look at that child who does not go to school. Yes, there may be some other reason, but take a look, take a deeper look, and possibly that child may be a victim of human trafficking. We don't want the public to act. We like to say, if you see something, say something. And when I say act, not to jump and dive into the deep. Call the Royal Bahamas Police Force at 911 or 919. The Ministry of National Security at 502-3300. Call Central Detective Unit at 502-9991, any national hotline. And we also have a 24-hour WhatsApp line at 376-8477.
Okay. And so the victims are mainly women?
And females? So this particular crime predominantly affects women and children. However, anyone can be a victim of trafficking, male and or female, no matter your economic status.
Wow, this is quite something. A lot of great information, Camaria Brandon. Thank you so much for being here. Again, World Day Against Trafficking in Persons is Tuesday,
Yes.
July 30th every year.
Yes, sir.
And you've got some big events Saturday, the prayer breakfast and the exhibit at the Mall Marathon.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
I told you we could talk for a long time on this.
Yes.
Camaria Brandon. Thank you. We got to have you back on at some point. We're going to break for news, folks. When we come back, we got Belinda Wilson. We're going to be talking about that MOU. Was it worth it? What she has to say about it and more in business. Stay with us.
I tell you, if the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he made the Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, July 26th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, and this morning we are talking labor issues and the MOU, the infamous Memorandum of Understanding that a number of unions and a couple of umbrella unions signed with the then opposition PLP back in 2021. And now the unions are saying that the government, the PLP government, is not living up to what they signed on to. And Belinda Wilson was always looking at this side-eyed, as the people say, and as the president of the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress and the BUT, she's asking, was it worth it? Belinda Wilson joins us this morning. Good morning. Always a pleasure. How are you?
Good morning, Dwight. It's my pleasure to be here with you this morning.
All right. So I guess this is a I told you so moment for you. You were critical of this from that moment back in 2021. And here we are. What do you say when you heard union leaders this week criticizing the government for not living up to what was promised?
What we're saying is, well, why are you crying now? Because there were 8 unions from the NCTUB at that time. We sent out a press release stating that we believe that, yes, there should be an MOU, but we the NCTUB, were not aware of what was in it. So our president at the time was Bernard Evans, and we saw them signing a document on television. And so if you had an opportunity to look at the document, then you would see that, yes, there are a lot of major things in the document that would benefit unions and benefit our members. And I was glad to hear Minister Pierre Glover say the low-hanging fruits, because that's all that they've yielded so far, the low-hanging fruits, such as quarterly meetings with the unions and giving out a few JP appointments, and the meat of the MOU has not yet been touched.
Mm-hmm. We heard we had Kyle Wilson on earlier this morning, and he said it. Of course, when in opposition, political parties will say and promise anything, but once they're in the government, it's a very different story. And we've known this for many, many years. Well, why do you think at that time that so many unions were so, I don't want to say gullible, but gullible is the only word I can think of, to believe that this would change, this would be different with a different administration?
I would think that the two leaders that we had at that time, and I can call the names, the TUC's leader, Obi Ferguson, and the NCTUB leader, Bernard Evans, at that time, both of them had already publicly expressed their support for the Progressive Liberal Party. So I believe that they compromised themselves. They compromised not only their unions, but they compromised the affiliate unions that were attached to the TUC and the NCTUB at that time. And I will go on record saying they got their compensation, because now Mr. Ferguson has a KC behind his name, and Mr. Evans is now a consultant for the government. Wow. So they got their compensation on the backs of the workers.
Oh, boy. Wow. Okay. So let's talk about that. Compromised the unions. Let's delve into that a little more. What are the impacts that you're seeing or likely to see in the future because of something like this?
Okay. When I talk about compromise, if you look at the August 26, 2021 article in the various newspapers, at the time, Mr. Obi Ferguson, and I'm quoting, that they will go to all of every church to urge them and their parishioners to vote for the PLP. No union leader should compromise themselves for the PLP, FNM, the COI, the DNA, and whoever else, because you are there to represent your members. Your members put you there. You are the servant of your members, not no political crony. And that is our problem. And let me dwell quickly, because I know time is short, into the MOU. Yes, we've had meetings and for the BNA TUC. Thank you, my 9 affiliates out there. We have been having our quarterly meetings with the former Minister of Labor since 2021 and the present Minister of Labor now. So we have our meetings. That's not an issue. But when you look at the MOU speaks to the workers' agenda, where the workers should be a part of the decision-making process on national policies, inclusive of heads of agreements. We should also be a part of the immigration approval process. And it was respected to 100 days. They said that they will have unions involved in the immigration process. To the tourism industry and negotiations, that has not happened. They have spoken about strengthening the industrial tribunal. I know that bill has been tabled. There's supposed to be an implementation of a Cultural Heritage Art and Entertainment Encouragement Act similar to the Hotel Encouragement Act, the National Pension Act, the Redundancy Fund. There's supposed to be a reactivation of the National Development Plan, a full implementation of the National Health Insurance System, the establishment of a Legal Aid Act, the livable wage. The consumer legislation was supposed to be enhanced for better consumer protection, the allocation of Crown land to labor organizations. So these are the heavy items, and none of these have been addressed yet. And so the meetings, yes, the meetings have been happening regularly, but I can say to you from 2021 to present, our meetings have had basically the same things on the agenda for the past 3 years. So we're unable to get a commitment from the government. And I must say that both of the ministers, when we meet with them, the meetings are cordial, but I am saying the collegiality What we want is results. Results. And that's what we are not getting, results on the big items that will change the lives of our workers in this country.
Right. Well, with the consumer, I think there's been a little bit of movement on that one. But you mentioned the ministers, the labor minister, labor and public service minister Pia Glover-Roll, in the papers today, saying that they are honoring the MOU, saying, quote, apart from a few items in the memorandum of understanding that may still be outstanding, I think we've done an excellent job of living up to our part, living up to our end of the bargain regarding the memorandum of understanding, considering that we still have time left during our administration's term, and the fact that some items were possibly low-hanging fruit. You made mention of that earlier. But other matters are a work in progress. Mr. Ferguson, Obie Ferguson, has a continuous door of open communication with myself, with many other ministers, with the Prime Minister, where he has frequent audiences, and all matters in the Memorandum of Understanding are matters that he discusses with us frequently and understands various timelines and limitations on. All right, so that point of timeline, so they still have 2 years. Is it not possible that this can be done, that a lot of this can be accomplished in that time?
They have 2 years, and it may be able to be done. However, I don't see where it is a priority of the government. And maybe if our pilot, the airline pilot, Philip Davis, the airline pilot, maybe if he land in the Bahamas for some period of time and we can get a meeting with him, then maybe we will know what their priorities are. But I'm glad she said Mr. Ferguson has an open door, because the BNATUC, we've been trying to get a meeting with the Prime Minister now for over 2 years. So he chooses who he wants to meet with, and they pander to the unions that they believe are their supporters and that they know that they can pull the wool over their eyes. And I must say, Kyle Wilson, and he's no kin to me, but Kyle Wilson, I see his heart, and he does work and fight hard for his members. But his challenge is going to be a compromised TUC leader who already said publicly he will not lead any demonstration against his government. And he also said that those of us who are on the road, we are stupid. Those times have passed. He said they have not passed, because the trade union movement got all of these various things done in this country that we are benefiting from because they were on the road and because of demonstrations and protests.
Now, we did see a change in tone from Obie Ferguson this week, though, where he seemed to be on the same page with Kyle Wilson that the time now is for action, especially with the BPL matter. So this is...
I hate to take on another union leader, because that really ain't the way I like to go. But Obie's a flip-flopper, because if you read November 2016 article, Obie said, vote your interests. So that time he was supporting another group. So he needs to decide who he's supporting and why. Wow. So anything that Obie Ferguson says has no credibility with me.
Oh, dear.
Done.
So the BNATUC, the most recent umbrella union in the country, are you having issues with the government with recognizing the umbrella union, or tell us about that? What's happening here? You say you haven't been able to have...
No problem with recognition. We've had our regular meetings as the BNATUC, and you would be aware that our unions are the Bahamas Financial Services Union, the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union. We have the Bahamas Public Service Union, the Bahamas Union of Teachers, the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union. We have the Abaco Taxi Drivers and Allied Workers Union. We have the Correctional Officers Association, Staff Association. We have the Police Staff Association, and we have one other new group that we're not able to say the name until next week. So we're growing, and we do not have any issues meeting with the Minister of Labor or the Director of Labor or their team. Our challenge is we've not had an audience with the Prime Minister. So if he can stay in the Bahamas long enough, I'm asking him publicly, sir, the BNATUC will like to have a meeting with you. And we've sent numerous letters, and I will renew that request as soon as this upcoming week. So what we're saying is we're having access, no problem. I just represented the BNATUC in Switzerland in June to the ILO. So we have been having our space at the table. But I'm saying to you, I believe it's from the effort of the minister herself, but not an effort from the government as such. And I don't think that the government sees workers as a priority until it's time for some rhetoric coming close to election.
Wow. All right. So what should be the next step for unions? As some of your colleagues are having challenges now, what should everybody do collectively?
Well, again, I must say that I may not be a part of the TUC or the NCTUB. I am the president of the BNATUC, but we engage, we dialogue, we consult, we communicate with each other. So some of them who would communicate with myself and others from my team, we give them guidance. But I want to say to them that our logo is an umbrella, and it's wide, it's open. So if you're not getting the guidance, you're not getting the support, you're not getting the protection where you're at, then our umbrella is open. So you're welcome. But I'm saying we give them guidance and we give them assistance. And I'm saying if Mr. Kyle Wilson and his union, they're going on the road, then he know that I'm only one phone call away. Mm-hmm. Me and a few of my colleagues, we will come and support him because that is what we do. We are here for workers. And I have no issue with politics. I love politics. I'm a student of politics. I vote. Mm-hmm. But I should not thrust my political choices on my members when it ain't gonna happen in the BUT. And it hasn't happened all these years that I've been the president of the BUT. That is someone's democratic right. And when you're not laying in the bed with these politicians and they done use you up, then now Mr. Obi want to cry? I ain't nobody wearing no tears. Because you should have cried before you signed.
You're saying that they can call on you, but not are you saying they should join your umbrella union?
What I'm saying is they call on us now. Mm. But if they are not getting the service, the guidance, the support, then our umbrella union, we're here. Be open, welcome, come and join us because we are the biggest and the strongest.
All right, we got a text about this. It's saying, good Lord, with the numbers that you call there, the number of unions under the umbrella. You've got at least 300,000 of the 400,000. I don't know if that's right. But anyway, they say you need to run for prime minister when you retire from the union. Let's talk about that. Well, you could tell me if you have any aspirations for that. But just that many, we've seen that often, get swept up in the politics that you just talked about and get blinded maybe about what they're really doing?
Let me address it. A lot of people don't remember, so let me remind them. I ran in the 2002 general election as an independent candidate in Carmichael. I got my 68 votes and I picked up my bag and I moved on. Now I can say that I've been courted. And I could call all the different parties, including the government, for politics in 2021 and even prior. I have chosen to work for first of all, the 3,000 members of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, and secondly, for our thousands of members in our 9 affiliate unions. Now, I have no issue with, okay, if I finish today and I want to run in 2026, fine. If someone else wants to run in 2026, but the problem is when you convolute the politics and the unions work. They do not mix. You have to do the work of the people. And I know a lot of people must say, I wonder who she's voting for. Because the PLB come, I'll tell them off. The FNM come, I'll tell them off. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do for the people, the workers. That is what I'm interested in. If after the fact I said, okay, I'm going into politics, then bless the Lord. But at this point in time, I am the president of the BUT and the president of the BNATUC. Those are my priority. And that's what our leaders need to. What is your priority? Is it grinning up for the prime minister? Is it going through a back door begging for a consultancy or a job? Or is it for you to work, to advocate, to agitate for the people who put you to serve them? We need to know what it is. What is it? Why are we here?
Wow. Let's take this call really quickly. Then we got to take a break. But good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Madam President.
Morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, you know, Dwight, no one was more shocked than me when I heard Ferguson said that they form a MOU with the government, because I believe some in their constitution it said no, you're supposed to not be government affiliated. You know, so no one is more shocked than I did, and I said obviously this is going to come to bite them. And also, you cannot openly ask your members to support a particular government, because that's being in bed. And so, you know what? I applaud Belinda when they stayed away, and I respect it highly for that. And I still do. And I hope that's a lesson for all unions. You have to represent your members and not be in bed with the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Interesting call, Belinda Wilson. We see that in other parts of the world, though, where unions will say we are endorsing this candidate, we're endorsing this. Why is that a problem here?
But okay, what I'm saying is that is their culture. And that is their choice. And then not only that, maybe their constitution of their unions allow them to align themselves with a particular party. However, I believe that we are representing thousands of people across this Bahamas who have different political views. And so if we're talking about democracy and the right to choose, then let them choose whom they wish to support. That does not, it is out of order, I believe, for a union leader to publicly sit and say, we are supporting any political party. This is the way we're going. And then he's saying that they're going to go into the churches. They need to go into the churches and pray and ask God to forgive them for their sins. You know what I mean? You go into the churches to ask them to vote for the PLP? Come on, man.
Wow. This call here. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Mrs. Wilson.
Hi, good morning.
Just like to offer a comment here. I must say that after hearing your statement this morning, it totally carried my respect for you to another level. And that is the ability as a leader to separate yourself from these political leaders, whereas you represent the Bahamian people and not the party that is in government. It is also a very good thing to hear when persons state that, all of a sudden these people know you when they are in opposition. But when they become government, it's like you take a back row seat or you are forgotten. We long as Bahamians, patriotic Bahamians, to see persons who will come to the forefront, who will represent the Bahamian people, not the monarchy, not these influential people in our societies or whatever, but represent the people and then represent the country. You have that ability to do so, and I would go on record right now to say, madam, it would be great with the mindset that you have if we could find many other Bahamians who wouldn't mind stepping up to the forefront and offering themselves for office with the mindset that the people first and the country is next, not political parties. I believe that our country can then begin to move forward, upward, and onward as we are as a people together. So thanks for your commentary this morning, Dwight. Thanks for taking my call, and I look forward to the rest of the program.
Okay.
God bless.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, Belinda Wilson, let's take a break. When we come back, I got to ask you, since we have you here, about schools, as you are the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, how we're looking at this midsummer point. Only about a month to go, though, before schools reopen, right? We want to get an update from you on that when we get back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
People them can't work. We can't do the lazy body people them. Watch out. Every passing must work. I don't like that. Work. Every passing must work. Young or old, work harder. Every passing must work. Work. White or black. Every passing must work. Work hard.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Listen, when I realized my edges were thinning and I had bald spots, I couldn't believe it. My healthy hair was gone. Luckily, me and Marcos reached out to me with their hair growth oil and I thought it might work, but I didn't expect it to work this quick. Consistency is key and I use the oil every day. My hair not only grew back, but it grew fuller and softer too. The oil is only $15 and it's available in Nassau and Freeport. Give us a call at 242-535-4622 for more information. 535-4622 Imperial Looks.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Age ain't nothing but a number, they say. Whether you're a baby boomer or a Gen X, Y, or Z, Easy Car Sales invites you to be part of the new Generation E. We drive electric for the savings, for the planet, and most importantly, for the smooth, powerful ride. You really can have it all. We love our EV and we are Generation E. Join us. Everyone is welcome. Visit IamGenerationE.com to find out more. Brought to you by Easy Car Sales.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Lazy body. We love the people them can't work. We can't do the lazy body people them. Watch out. Every passing must work. I don't like that. Work. Every passing must work. Young or old, work harder.
We're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you. We're talking with Belinda Wilson. She is the president of the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, but she's also, of course, the president of the BUT, the Bahamas Union of Teachers. Can't believe it's only a month to go before back to school. Teachers will be back in about a month, and students right after. From what you know, how are we looking at this point?
Well, I intended to address this next week, but since you asked, then let's go.
Well,
All right?
thank you.
Because I listened to the Minister of Education, Glenys Anna Martin, speak last evening on the news about Harbor Island Comprehensive School. And I believe I heard her say that they are going to do a demolition and then have whatever ready for September. So I'm not certain of exactly the words that she used, but I'm trying to get some information on if there's going to be a demolition and it has not started as yet. And then you're going to build a new building. Well, definitely a new building does not take 1 month to build. So I'm going to seek to get further information on that. To date, I've not received any listing on works that are being done throughout the Bahamas at school, at various schools. But let me raise this because this is something that I've written to the permanent secretary from February. The first writing again for this year would have been February 8th, 2024. So I wrote to the permanent secretary asking about Ragged Island All Age School. So I know that there are 2 teachers that have been attached there, but I know the boat was not running, etc. So
how many students are there?
They probably have about 12 students, and they've not been in school since, well, the hurricane, which would have been several years ago. So my understanding is the physical structure is basically completed, and there are 2 teachers who have been assigned to Ragged Island. So I believe that September they should be able to occupy that school and the students should be able to go to school. But I want to bring your attention and the country's attention to Low Sound Primary School. I understand they're paying $13,000 per month, renting a facility. And the Low Sound Primary School has been building now about 8 or 9 years. I was there a couple of weeks back. It is still not completed.
My goodness.
You have Staniel Key Comprehensive School that has been building from 2017. My understanding is it's supposed to be finished for September of 2024. The Holmes's Rock Junior High School in Holmes's Rock, Grand Bahama, that has been building from 2016. This is our taxpayers' money. And these facilities started to build 7-8 years ago and are sitting there. The rain wet it, the sun dry it. That is causing, listen, I wonder if this was these people personal funds. Would this be the way that you would spend it? So I'm not a political operative, Minister Glenys Anna Martin. I'm the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, and I'm asking today, when are the repairs going to be completed for the 171 schools from Grand Bahama to Inagua? When is the demolition going to happen for Harbor Island Comprehensive School? And in the meantime, where will they be housed when school opens? August 26th for the teachers and September the 4th for the children, because definitely no building could build in 4 weeks. Staniel Key Comprehensive, when is that going to be open? When is Holmes's Rock going to be completed? And a specific date for Ragged Island All Age School. So listen, there's enough work to be done and it needs to get done. And let me say this too. We've, as the BUT, we have given so many recommendations. And let me go quickly. One of the recommendations that we gave to the government is for them to have a maintenance team. A maintenance team of workers. You have your engineer, you have the plumber, the electrician, the carpenter. So what we're saying is when something happens at the school through the year, so if a louver falls out of the window, then they can go there and fix the louver. You wait until all the windows fall out, then start rushing around a couple weeks before school opened for September, saying that, oh, you're repairing schools. No, what you're doing is you're giving contracts to your political cronies. And a lot of the work is not done in a proper or timely manner. Yes, I said it. Belinda Wilson said it. And I stand by it.
Wow. What about with teachers and staffing? How's that looking? Do we know if we're going to have enough teachers for the new school year?
Had a communication as early as 2 days ago, as recently as 2 days ago, with the director of education. I'm still awaiting the list of the new teachers who are going to be hired. I heard the minister say on television one day there'll be 319 new teachers. I know that they would have hired about 45 Cuban teachers, and this year the Bahamas Union of Teachers was able to send one of our officers on that recruitment trip. So we know that the 45 that are coming, they do speak English fluently. And I must say that I had the pleasure of meeting with the Cuban ambassador a few weeks ago, and that meeting and courtesy call was really good, and we intend to work closely together. I also heard the minister say that they're hiring 100 teachers' aides. I don't have a listing as yet, but I'm working closely with the director of education to ensure that we get the list of the new teachers that they're going to be hiring. And I'm going to say to the new teachers that are coming, and I try to communicate with them regularly now, if you're going to a family island, do not let the Ministry of Education rush you and say, oh, go now. We've negotiated a $3,000 geographical posting allowance, which is to buy your round-trip ticket for you to pay for your utilities to be turned on, for you to buy some personal items, for you to put your car and your personal items on the boat. So wait for the funds, wait for your letter, your posting letter, before you move. Because I can tell you, we have a lot of our teachers who go, our new teachers, and they are sleeping in other teachers' homes on the sofa, on the floor. They go to the family islands. There's no one to meet them from the Ministry of Education. We have to send our shop stewards or our executives to meet them and to house them. So I'm saying to the new teachers, yes, you're anxious. Many of you just came out of UB, and I was there to support you and to congratulate you. But wait to get your posting letters in hand and the funds that you need, especially if you're going to Grand Bahama or any of the family islands.
Well, go on, Belinda.
But I'm just saying that I'm closely monitoring everything that's happening with the ministry and the Department of Education. And I must say that the Director of Education, we've been communicating very regularly. We're having our meetings. She would call me, I'll call her. There'll be something that I raise and want to bring to her attention. It's something she might raise and want to bring to my attention. So we've been communicating. There's just one thing I hold it against her, and she know it.
Oh boy.
She is the cause of the Bahamas Union of Teachers industrial agreement that has been signed from September the 13th, 2022 to not be registered today. And I already tell her, when I come out at her publicly on that matter, it ain't gonna be easy.
Oh gosh. And that wasn't it just now? Okay. This text before we get to this caller. Considering school is opening in a month, can Belinda Wilson say whether she's working hand in hand with the minister, Glenys Hanna Martin, to ensure school opens on time? And can she promise and commit not to strike or sit out or anything like that, and allow our kids to receive an uninterrupted education this semester coming?
Okay, now let me let y'all know, because everybody think the minister is some kind of big thing in a ministry. The minister is the policy maker. So I am trying to work hand in hand with the permanent secretary, who is the person who leads the ministry. And like I said, I've written to the permanent secretary from February. Me and her had a meeting about 2 Fridays ago. I reminded her that I'm still awaiting an update and a status report from her on the schools I just listed that are not ready. So let me tell you something, whoever the texter is, if you want the teachers not to strike, not to walk out, not to work in unsanitary, unclean conditions at school, then you go call Glennis Anna Martin, the minister, and tell her to make sure that the schools are ready, make sure that they're clean, make sure that she and her permanent secretary and her director communicate and consult with the union, the Belinda Wilson, the president.
Wow.
Consult with us.
Okay.
And the executives to ensure that the schools are ready. So let me tell you something, I make you no promise. If the schools are not ready, you will hear my voice. If the schools are unsafe and unclean, my members from the Bahamas Union of Teachers will not be in any environment that is unsafe for them and the children.
Okay. Let's take this call really quickly. Caller, you're on the air.
Oh, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Madam President.
Hi.
Good morning.
Amen to that, Mom. I just want to say to Melinda Wilson, you're doing an extremely well job. Continue, okay? That's coming from a hotel formal shop steward. You're doing well. One more thing before I hang. Dwight, what I have a problem with, right? Communication when it comes to the government and the union. Okay? And when it comes to the persons who are foreigners, when they come in to negotiate these contracts. I always say, when sitting with the government, if the government had much respect for the union, they in return will reply to the foreigners to let them know what's in place as it relates to the union. So that when they come on board, they could respect the union and follow through with those contracts. Have a great day.
Okay, thanks a lot. Belinda Wilson, we have 20 seconds. You got the final
Quickly, I'm
few
glad
words
she
here.
said that because the government should let whichever investors are coming in know that this is a unionized environment. But I just want to say to all of my members from the Bahamas Union of Teachers from Grand Bahama to Inaco, I hope you all enjoying your summer break and took time to listen to this. You all know I love you all. Let's just continue to do what we do. Get some rest because school is going to be opening shortly. And like I said to my shop stewards, if the schools are not ready, make sure we know. And Belinda Wilson and the executive committee, we will be at those schools supporting you. And I just want to say to the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, whom I've led for the last 2 years, it is my pleasure to lead leaders. And we've been really doing a great job. And I just want to say to all of you, thank you for your support for me as a president, and thank you all for how we work so closely together to support the other affiliates that are part of our Congress. We're going to continue to work and let any government know. The BNATUC, we're not the ones that compromise. We work for our members.
Okay. Belinda Wilson, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for talking with us this morning. A very lively way to end the week. Thank you. Have a good one.
Solidarity forever.
All right. We are out of time, folks. Be sure to pick up today's Nassau Guardian and the business section for the latest in business news. And Morning Blend Business brought to you in part by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Everybody have a safe, wonderful weekend. I'll be back on Monday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian